Alright boys, we're going to keep the player reviews rolling, and up next on the list, man, we're going to take a look at another Star In Motion evolution for none other than Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is an 86 rated card. He has the explosive acceleration type, left footed with 5-star skill moves and 4-star weak foot. Now, I don't know about you guys, man, but I feel like Bernardo Silva has been a little bit of like a forgotten player in FC and like previous FIFAs, maybe because like his pace is a lot lower. But I mean, with the evolution, boys, he does actually get some pretty nice upgrades. Now, I do want to go ahead and mention that this is actually a chained evolution. First, you want to use his regular rare gold card in the Big Fella evolution and then Star In Motion. Now, you don't have to do that, boys, but by using him in Big Fella, it is going to give him a much more well-rounded upgrade. I mean, as you guys can see, he is pretty close to Hooligang. The Big Fella evolution is 25,000 coins and then Star In Motion is completely free. So in order to obtain the card, man, you're looking at around 27k in total, which is actually really good in my opinion. Now, lots of versatility with Bernardo Silva. He can play the center mid, center defensive mid, right mid, and cam positions. And looking at his in-game stats in a bit more detail, he is a very well-rounded player. The lowest stat that he does have is 79 for both his defending and physicality. So a lot of it is going to kind of come down to like how you want to incorporate him in game. If you do want to use him a little bit more like a box-to-box midfielder, I mean, improving on that side of his game a little bit more would probably be your best bet. The one stat that is most definitely going to fit this year's style of play and like this year's meta is his 89 dribbling, boys. As you guys know, with Bernardo Silva, he does have a very small build in game. So I mean, 93 agility, 92 balance, and then also 87 reactions with the 5-star skill moves, man. That's going to be a huge part to his game. If you do want to implement him a little bit more like a creative midfielder in your starting 11, he does have 83 passing with the Tiki Taka playstyle plus, so that's honestly not too bad either. And then he does also have the 82 shooting, so if you do want to use him in a more advanced position like as a center attacking mid, he does have 82 attacking positioning and 80 finishing, which I mean isn't anything too crazy, but you can always improve that with like a specific chem style. Now, with the way that the card is set up, boys, because he does have a bit of a pace split, if you're not too worried about his physicality, the shadow chem style actually wouldn't be too bad just to get the most out of his pace and defending. That's obviously going to work really well if you do want to use him as that box-to-box midfielder, but if you do want to use him a little bit further forward, the hunter would be really good, and then also the hawk. Now, with Bernardo Silva, he does also have 7 different playstyles. The Tiki Taka playstyle plus is easily one of the best playstyle pluses to have this year. So I will say, man, he does have a pretty interesting setup. I love the fact that he does have the incisive pass playstyle as well. The low driven, if you can get him a little bit further forward, is going to work really well. The R1 dribbling with his smaller build, I mean, he should cook in that sense as well. I would say the only real letdown is the fact that he doesn't have any defensive playstyles. So if you do plan on using him as that box-to-box, you are going to have to kind of rely on your manual defending a little bit more. And then with his player roles, man, I mean, he does have a lot of variety and a lot of versatility with the way that you can use him in game. He does have the box crasher player role plus shadow striker player role plus as well. And then alongside that, boys, he does also have a lot of player role pluses. Now, for me personally, using him as that box-to-box midfielder is probably where you're going to get the most out of the card. But because he does fit this year's meta with like your smaller, more agile type of players, I feel like using him as a shadow striker actually wouldn't be too bad. And now with the Star In Motion evolution, boys, there are a lot of really good options. So if there is a specific player that you guys would like to see a player review on, let me know in the comment section down below. If you do enjoy these kinds of videos where we test out some evolution chains, let me know by leaving a like, and then also consider subscribing to the channel if you are new. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 and let's see how good this card really is. Alright boys, we are jumping into game number 1 using Bernardo Silva, and I must say, man, I feel like he's a little bit of like an underrated player. He's going to fit this year's style of play because he's like very small. He does have really good dribbling stats. So if you do have the Star In Motion evolution available and you do run a Premier League team, he could be a pretty solid midfield option. Now, the plan is to go ahead and run him at the center mid position as that box-to-box midfielder. So we're looking for him to be very good going forward while still providing that defensive cover. And with the anchor chem style, boys, he does actually become Hooligang, so that's really nice. But as you guys can see, with a little bit of left stick dribbling, he does keep it very close. And then he does also have the 5-star skill moves, man. So that's going to be a huge part to his game. A little bit of R1 dribbling as well. Yeah, boys. I mean, he kind of gives me like a Vitinha type of vibe. Oh, Bernardo Silva, boys. That's a good interception right there. I feel like the AI defending might actually be pretty good with the card. The through ball could have been a little bit better. Maybe needed a bit more power behind it. Now we can go ahead and spring into a counter attack. Good skill move right there. Bernardo Silva drop it back. We do have Xavi Simons making that run. Play it through, boys. He does have 4-star weak foot, which, I mean, for me personally is really important because I feel like Silva is one of those players that like a lot of people are going to assume that you're going to force it onto his left. But Bernardo Silva, man, he's almost playing like a cam. Keep in mind, boys, you can also use him as a shadow striker. Good R1 dribbling right there. Yeah, he's very smooth on the ball. Bernardo Silva, nice. Now a little bit of counter-attacking football right here. This guy does run back with Paul Scholes quite a bit. Good first touch. Oh, Bernardo Silva, great skill move. Go for the shot. This is a decent attempt. Bernardo Silva, drop that back. I'm going to play it to Çalhanoğlu and now just ping it towards the middle. There we go. Bernardo Silva, great attacking position, does have low driven. It's a lovely finish, boys. Again, those late runs into the box are going to be really difficult to pick up. Bernardo Silva, man, what a tackle that is. A little bit of counter-attacking football right here. There goes that late run again. Played out wide, it's not too bad. And now with tiki-taka, we can just like go ahead and drop it back. Like his passing is so good. Çalhanoğlu finesse shot. That's a lovely finish, boys. We'll take that. He's one of those players that are like really good in the build-up. So if you can pick the right pass, man, I mean, you're going to be able to like get so many players in behind. Bernardo Silva, a little bit of R1 dribbling. That's good close control, man. Decent acceleration as well. Like, if you are a little bit worried about, like, his pace, you could give him the Shadow or, like, the Hunter Chem style, depending on how you want to use him in game. But I feel like the pace hasn't been too bad. See, maybe try to attack a little bit more down the right. Play it. First time through ball, boys. What a ball that is. Bernardo Silva. I'm going to go near post. Ooh, boys, you know what, man? I actually thought that we were going to choke right there. But he did move his goalkeeper, man, and we changed our mind last second. So that's another great finish. Oh, that's good AI defending again, boys. Like, the AI defending on the card has actually been pretty solid. Nice. We do have that overlapping run. The stamina is a little bit lower, so I just go for a simple through ball. There it is. Ultimada low driven. It's just wide, man. We got to be scoring that. Good through ball, though. Alrighty, boys. Straight into game number 2 we go, and so far, so good. I think that is safe to say. As a center mid, I like the technical side to this game. The physical side is not too bad either. But if you are looking for like a more creative-minded midfielder that does get a little bit of defensive cover, I think that he's a pretty good option. But yeah, man, let's see him get off to a good start in game number 1. This guy does actually have a really good team. He's also running 4-3-2-1. Bernardo Silva, man, what a touch near post. It's an incredible finish, man. The 4-star weak foot is honestly so important. Once you get him in those more advanced positions, like there is balance with the card. Like he can create a lot. He can also score a lot of goals. But I mean, the chance creation is definitely like the standout area. All right, man, let's just go ahead and throw it quickly right here. Maybe test out the card's sprint speed a little bit more up against Marcos Llorente. Yeah, I mean, he's not the quickest. Bernardo Silva, cancel that. Nice. 5-star skill moves. Ooh, I did a little bit too much right there. The one thing that I absolutely love with the card, boys, is just like these first-time passes. Like, it allows you to play so quickly with him. Bernardo Silva, regular shot. He moved his goalkeeper, man. I should have seen that. All right, boys, we do have a corner in the 26th minute. Let's see if we can maybe try to just, like, create a good chance with him. Ooh, that Burba spin first time was clean. Bernardo Silva. He does have Park Ji-sung. Good skill move. Maybe did a little bit too much, man. Keeping it close, though. Low driven. That's a great finish, boys. If you prefer your smaller, more agile type of players, man, he's honestly going to cook for you in game. Just reverse it. Test out the sprint speed. R3 touch. Not bad. Bit of a tight angle. It's a decent attempt. Ultimada, hold it up a little bit. We do have Simons making that run. Just use it as a decoy. Low driven. It's a great finish, boys. Keep in mind, he does also have low driven and game changer. So if you do run him as like a left-sided center mid, in those more advanced positions, if you create a good angle, you can go for a low driven Travella. And that's actually really good. Bernardo Silva, that's a good interception, man. We'll take that. Anchor Chem style for the most part has been working pretty well. All right, boys, 2v1. Do I go for a shot or do I look for a cutback? Cutback. We'll take it, boys. I know it's a little bit ratty, but with Tiki Taka, man, sometimes you just got to do that because his passing is so accurate. We do need a little bit of support. Bernardo Silva is a little bit further back. Now play it. Great attacking positioning, boys. I will say his attacking runs have been pretty solid. Maybe a low-driven Travella. That's what I'm talking about, boys. Like, that is such a good shot choice. I think that is safe to say, boys. In those more advanced positions, he's definitely capable of, like, creating a lot, but also scoring a couple goals. The comeback might be completed for him. One more. Fake shot. Now play it. That's incredible, boys. That fake shot after we were about to do a low driven, just before he moved his goalkeeper, was perfect. Very good timing right there. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is us using the new Bernardo Silva Evolution card in a few games of Division Rivals. And I will say with the upgrades, a very underrated player in game. The one thing that like his regular rare gold card was lacking was obviously like the physical side to his game. He didn't have the greatest of pace, defending, and physicality. But by chaining him in the Big Fella Evolution and then using him in Star In Motion, I feel like he's a much more well-rounded player and he can do everything pretty well in the middle of the pitch. Now for me personally, boys, the standout stat for the card was obviously his 89 dribbling. So if you do want to use him a little bit more like a playmaker in your starting 11, you most definitely can. 93 agility, 92 balance with the 5-star skill moves and then also the technical playstyle. If you do prefer kind of like your smaller, more agile type of players, I feel like he's most definitely going to fit your style of play. I was a little bit worried about his pace, man, because he does have a pretty big pace plate. He has 92 acceleration and then also 75 sprint speed with the Anchor Chem style. But for the most part, I mean, he's not the quickest of players I've ever used, but he isn't too slow either. Although he doesn't have any defensive playstyles, I will say you do get a little bit of defensive cover with the card. He is a little bit of like an annoying player to play against. I mean, he does have 81 defensive awareness and then also 90 stand tackle, so pretty good at breaking up the play and, you know, like advancing the ball forward. If I had to compare him with like a specific type of player, boys, he does kind of give me like a Vitinha type of vibe. You know, smaller, more agile, very good on the ball. You can kind of like break up the play with him. So if you do prefer those types of players, I feel like Bernardo Silva is actually going to be a pretty solid option for you. I wouldn't say that they're on the same level, but if you are looking for like an alternative, or if you do run like a Premier League team, a pretty solid option. Now, the main letdown that I did notice with Bernardo Silva, boys, is the fact that he doesn't have any defensive playstyles. So like, if you are trying to run him as like a CDM, or if you are trying to use him as a box-to-box midfielder, you are going to have to rely a little bit more like on manual defending with him. By using him in the big fella evolution, you are getting a little bit more to like the physical side to his game, and then by throwing him in Star In Motion, I mean, it just takes the technical side to his game to a whole nother level. Now, some of the like really popular midfielders that we currently have in FC26, a lot of people like to run Tijani Reinders, De Jong, Vitinha. If I had to compare Bernardo Silva with those players, I would honestly put all three of the other ones in S tier because of how good they are in game. But with Bernardo Silva, I would probably put him on A tier category just because there are some parts to his game that do lack just a little bit. Now, the only player that we've done a player review so far using in the Star In Motion evolution has been Romelu Lukaku. Now, I can't really compare the two players because they're pretty different. So if there is another player that you guys would like to see a player review on, let me know in the comment section down below. But if you do run a Premier League team and you do have the Star In Motion and then also the big fella evolutions available, I think that Bernardo Silva with the upgrades definitely fits this year's style of play, and I would definitely recommend him. But that is going to be the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, let me know by leaving a like. Comment down below what player you guys would like to see next in another player review. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. I've been your boy Booba, and I'll catch you guys in another one very, very soon. Peace.